but I'm glad that you're here. So welcome everyone who's joining us for this Kua Ventures webinar. My name is Pamela Oktoi and I'll be moderating this session. So kindly in the chat box, just introduce yourself, tell us where you're joining us from and what you're expecting. Welcome everyone. Kindly feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us who you are, which organization you're representing, and what your expectations are. Just to confirm, just confirm with my technical team. Bernice, are we set? Are we okay?
Let's allow the attendees to keep introducing themselves even as we begin.
Okay, thank you. Kindly introduce yourself in the chat. Would love to know who you are, where you joining us from, and your expectations from this webinar. Thank you. I can see Angela, Madalena, welcome. Augustus, welcome from Pepson Logistics. Moses from Mashinani, Igembe. Henry Jeto, welcome. Gichigo James from Kenya Rural Food Center Limited. Prudo from HLF, welcome. Dennis from Hamara Africa Energy, welcome. Maxwell from Main Software, welcome. Njoki Kivuti from Too Much Sauce. Oh, wow, exciting. Okay. Welcome. Daniel Mutami from Dawapay, welcome. David Kitenge from Kadal Fresh Limited, welcome. Alfred Adu from Tan Pro Sports, welcome. Calvin from Shell Vivo Group Limited, welcome. Joel Mwando from Wetu, welcome. Ainaini, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I pronounced the name right, but from Digi Curated, welcome. Naomi representing Africa Laminate, welcome. Damaris representing Kadal Swift, welcome. Joyce from Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies, welcome. Nelson from Nelly Media Entertainment, Pauline Kabiru, Dennis, welcome everyone who is joining us. This is the Kua Ventures Entrepreneurs webinar. Keep introducing yourself in the chat. Tell us whom you're representing, where you joining us from, and your expectations from this webinar. So I think we have 1 minute and we'll be starting off. Just 1 minute. So keep introducing yourselves. I'm glad that you have found time to join us, and I hope you learn just as much as we have prepared for you guys. Welcome, Joseph from Synapis. Welcome, Punyo Francis. Amazing to see you all here. Okay, so to start us off, we will start with a poll. It's just it's a poll just to introduce yourself and describe who you are. So it will be coming right through your screen in a few seconds. Banis, could you have the poll? Welcome, John. Welcome, Hillary. Welcome, Richard. Okay, I think we will get started, and allow me to introduce my first panelist, who will be Madalina. Madalina is sorry about that. Somebody just came up. Okay, technical issues. Today they have decided to come in full force with their kids. Anyway, welcome. So I will welcome my first panelist, who is Madalina Santos. Madalina is the operations director at Kua Ventures, who is going to talk to us about what Kua Ventures is, what they're doing in Kenya, and what the call for applications that we are running is all about. So allow me to bring on stage Madalina Santos to start us off, and I have a few questions for her. Welcome, Madalina. Madalena, if you can hear me. Okay, we give her a few minutes. She gets to stage. Welcome, Rose. Welcome, Lucy. Good to see you. We're waiting for Madalena to come on stage. Madalena is the operations director at Kua Ventures, and she will be talking to us about why we're here today and what Kua Ventures is doing in Kenya and the call for applications that we are currently running. Welcome, Deacon. There you go. Thank you. Welcome, Madalena.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Finally, I'm here. Good to have everyone here.
Thank you. Welcome, Madalena. It's good to have you on this webinar. So I have a few questions for you. I just want our audience to understand who Kua Ventures is, first of all, and what are we doing in Kenya?
So good morning, everyone. So Kua Ventures is an affordable capital provider that provides to entrepreneurs together with coaching and community. I'll explain more about that, but we've been providing capital for over 37 years, over a number of countries in the world, supporting micro and small businesses. And our ultimate goal is to really see businesses grow, flourish with this vision of creating community impact.
Thank you. So, given that Kua Ventures employs the three C's, the community, capital, and coaching in our approach to support faith-driven entrepreneurs in Kenya, could you talk to us about how that approach is beneficial and works for SMEs here in Kenya?
Definitely. So for those of you that don't know, we imply a 3C approach, where we believe that we need to provide affordable capital together with high quality coaching and a community of faith-driven entrepreneurs in Kenya. We believe that only these three together can really help businesses flourish. And we've done recently a brand survey where we've asked a lot of our entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs we've interacted with, what do they perceive as being the most valuable services that Kua Ventures provides, and we found that the three are quite valuable. So, in most of the cases, entrepreneurs would come to us looking for capital. That's normally the reason why entrepreneurs look for Kua Ventures. But the reality is, the entrepreneurs that have gone through our support actually highlight coaching and community as a key parts to the benefits they received from Kua Ventures.
And now, currently, we are running a call for applications. As an SME in Kenya, what is it that I'm supposed to do to be able to apply, or also be be fit for the funding or support that Kua Ventures offers?
Thank you, Pamela. It's a great question. And I can see from people's introducing themselves a number of entrepreneurs that have applied in the past or we've interacted with. So it's good to see all of you here. And I'm sure you're looking forward to hearing the answer to this question and understanding whether your business fits what we're looking for. So as you can see here on the screen, these are 7 funding criteria. You can also find them on our website and go through them in detail. But let me just highlight what do they mean and some of the aspects that are behind them, just to help you identify whether your company fits what we're looking for and kind of facilitate the process of application. So we look for founders that are East African national. We look for businesses that are registered in Kenya. So at the moment, we're investing only in Kenyan businesses, whereas the founder may be from any of the East African countries. We look for founders that are committed Christians, that are reflecting their values in the way the business is run. So we're looking for businesses that are upholding these biblical principles. We look for founders that are driven by creating social impact. As I mentioned in the 3C models, we offer capital, coaching, and community, and we're really looking at helping businesses grow that can create this social impact that are already creating, but also where the capital, the coaching, and the community that is provided by Kua Ventures can unlock that vision by the founder. We look for businesses that have some track record. So a lot of times we have businesses that come to us that are not yet in the market, so don't have a final product or are yet to start selling. We look for businesses that are post-revenues, that are already in the market and have a minimum of 3-year track record. And that's because it's very different the first few years of trialing and testing your product or your service versus when you have already tested for a while and then capital helps grow from there. We look for businesses that have already achieved a certain level of revenue. An indication is around 5 million Kenya shillings. And for businesses that are looking for between 5 and 15 million, which is our ticket size, which may last between 3 and 6 years. And we look for founders that are committed to being part of these communities. So we're not necessarily looking for founders that are just looking for a transactional investment or just for capital, but that really want to benefit, but also contribute to this community of faith-driven entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Magdalena, for explaining that. And I can see the funding criteria is actually on the screen. And even those who want to expound more on that can find it on our website. But I will have a question that I'm sure most entrepreneurs on this platform are still asking themselves. What do you mean by being a Christian founder or faith-driven? Could you just give us, explain to us what that means.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So part of our vision as Kua Ventures, as we started Kua Ventures a number of years ago, was to create this community of Christians that not only are doing business, but are doing business in a way that is honoring to God. I think sometimes we have these almost this double life where church is a thing for Sunday, and Monday we put on our business hats and we go about it on doing business. And we want to challenge this idea. We want to challenge the idea that those are two separate parts of our life, but that we do business on Monday the same way, with the same heart, with the same vision, with the same principles that we go to church. And so really, this is about the person. This is about the person's commitment to honoring your own principles, more than checking a few check boxes, right? So we're not necessarily checking boxes of whether some of the aspects of your Christian life are, but more about you, your integrity, you as a Christ follower.
Thank you. I think that's clear, and most of us will be asking ourselves, "Am I a Christian founder?" But I hope you've gotten some clarity from that explanation, and from this call for application that you're currently running. What should an entrepreneur expect from Kua Ventures? What are the timelines for application? How long does the process take for me to get my reply if I apply like today?
Mm-hmm. It's another great question, and I'm sure experiences. And I have to say that is a very customized process, and so it may be very quick for a few entrepreneurs that, for example, may have already fundraised in the past and so have the documentation already to submit, versus other entrepreneurs that may be starting that journey and where the actual process of application is part of the coaching, is part of the learning of what the company needs to have to fundraise. And so the process varies quite significantly, mostly dependent on the company's readiness in terms of documentation, but also in terms of the questions that are raised. Sometimes in due diligence that may raise additional questions, and so may delay the process. We aim not to take more than 24 weeks, but I would say that that varies quite significantly from business to business. The first step is always to go on the website to submit an application, and you will definitely hear from us, whether it's to explain, to invite you for any call where we can hear more about your business, or to explain why the business may not fit the criteria. Again, we try to be as specific as possible, so you can also learn from that experience within the limitations of sending an email, the reasons for not having been successful.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Madalena. And I think you've given us, you have an idea of what Kua Ventures is and what they're offering entrepreneurs here in Kenya, what you're doing. And I think that is good for our audience. And I hope, I know that some of you have questions for Madalena, but I'll just request you guys to have your questions in the chat, or keep them for the Q&A session. So kindly, thank you, Madalena. And as you move forward, I hope you have learned something about Kua Ventures, and keep your questions, keep them. I'll get them answered. So thank you. So next, we're going to have a second poll. We just want to find out what's the most important to your business right now. What is that need that you're looking for right now? So there's a poll that is coming to your screens in a few seconds. So just key in regards to the 3 C's that Kua Ventures offers: capital, coaching, community. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, what is your most important need right now in business? Is it capital? Is it coaching? Is it community? Kindly put in your vote. I can see some guys are saying they have some technical, experiencing some sound technicalities. Kindly, Bernice, on your end, kindly just check if that's okay or rectified. And guys, just confirm that you can still hear me, because it would be very sad for you to be here and not get to listen to us. Okay, thank you. So we're moving on into the next session, and the next session I'm going to invite one of the Kua Ventures portfolio member who is an entrepreneur, and that is Richard Kainika. Richard Kainika is the founder of Pure Planet Recyclers. Richard, if you're here. Okay, so before Richard speaks, we're going to see a video of what his enterprise does. We're going to play a video of Richard. Amazing. This is incredible, Richard, the work that you're doing. And I don't know if you guys have the same feeling about his business. So I hope you learned something from Richard. So I have Richard here with us, and he'll be sharing his journey with Kua Ventures, how Kua Ventures has been able to support him to achieve his dreams and also to grow his entrepreneurial journey and to help us solve one of the world's biggest problems, waste. And in Nairobi, I think that is one of the things that is so it's a big challenge for us, and it's good to have someone who is actually working in that space. So welcome, Richard Kainika. Um, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Thank
hear
you.
you clearly, Pamela. Hello,
It's good to have
everyone.
you.
Yeah,
Okay. So
great.
Richard Kainika, here we are, and what is Pure Planet? Maybe for someone who didn't start the video at the beginning, just to understand, and what is it that you do?
Thank you very much, Pamela. Pure Planet is a plastic recycling company, which operates in Nairobi, the metro area of Nairobi, Malok Road, off Outer Ring Road, Nairobi. We are not very far from the famous Dadora Dam site. Pure Planet entails collection uh, plastics post from the residential areas. And basically, what we do is that every morning, dispatch trucks that go out to buy plastic
Richard,
from a network of
Richard, sorry
aggregators
to
that
interrupt you.
work with us. So these aggregators are within Nairobi,
Richard, if you can hear
and a
me,
bit of them are
I'm sorry
also
to interrupt you, but
uh, uh,
your internet is not really good. Uh, Apologies, guys. I think we lost Richard.
uh, situated
Apologies,
in
guys. We will
areas
get back to Richard. We just let us try and fix
close
his
to
internet issues, and then he'll
your
be able to come and share with us his story. In the meantime, you can keep sharing your questions in the chat. If you have any comments that you want to make them in the chat, my team is. I can see it's very okay. I can see my team is answering all your questions. And if you have any other comments that you want to make, please just place them in the chat. In the meantime, I think we can have a poll as we work to get Richard back on stage. Guys, just be patient with us. I think technical issues have woken up with us today, and we have to live through with them. But we have to make this a success as well. So there's a poll that is coming to your screens in a few. So if you're there, you're like Richard, you're in business, you're an entrepreneur, why are you looking for funding? And that is something that we really want to know as investors. So what is your need? Why are you looking for funding? Is it for operational expenses? Is it working capital that you're looking for? Is it capital expenditure? Is it asset finance? Why are you looking for funding? Tell us in the poll. Okay, sorry, I think there was. I think there was a mismatch of the polls, and we had to do who you are poll instead of why are you looking for funding. So let's go, guys. So do you have Richard back, or we can move on? I think when Richard is back, he'll be able to answer your questions. I think we can move on and have the next presenter as we wait for Richard. Okay, Richard, I can see you here. Richard, can you hear me? Hello, Richard. Okay, Banis, is it okay if we move on to the next presenter and then we can come back to Richard when he's ready?
Yeah, that's quite okay. Richard has just told me that he's going to get back in a few minutes. Maybe we can move on to the next one.
Okay, thank you. So I'm sorry, guys, about that. I know we all want to learn something from Richard, want to listen to his story, but unfortunately, he's having some technical issues with his internet. But he will get back to us. We'll get back to him before we finish this session. So allow me to move to the next presenter, the next portfolio member for Kua Ventures. I'll be welcoming Daniel. Daniel, are you with us?
Yeah, hi Pam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, Daniel. It's good to have you here.
Yes.
So Daniel will be telling us who he is. I do not want to introduce him. I'll be telling us who he is and what he does. And let's listen to him. Welcome, Daniel. Tell us who are you and what do you do?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. My name is Daniel Warutumo, an engineer by training and an entrepreneur, and I am born again. I'm a founder of a company called Flexo Graphics Limited. We are 4 years old, and what we do is we make printing plates, or what other people would call branding plates. Let's say you have a brand of animal feeds you want to market, or avocados. We have a team of designers who sit with you, and we agree on the design of your animal feeds or the avocados that you want to market. So we work with you and develop the appropriate artwork. From that artwork, we make the printing plate, and with this printing plate, you go to the company that will make for you the bag for fertilizer, or the cartons for your avocados, or the flexible packaging for your milk or the yogurt, or for the paper in case you for example, if you are selling maize flour. So in a nutshell, what we do is we make branding plates, which our customers use to transfer their brand on the packaging materials, so that as they market them, they are able to have impact and attract their customers.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for that introduction and even telling us what you do. So Daniel, just for us to understand about short background, he's one of our recent portfolio members. He just joined Kua Ventures, and I want him to just tell us, since from the moment you submitted your application to Kua Ventures, what was the process? What came next for you, and how did you find the investment process? Being a newbie in the portfolio, and in how did you interact with the Kua Ventures team? How did that work out for you?
Yeah, thank you, Pam. What was our application journey? Out there, I see we have entrepreneurs who are, candidates for this funding. Before we even applied to Kua Ventures, I believe as a Christian, you are praying about it. You are committing this process to the Lord. So of course we were praying. We had talked to other to the banks, and the biggest challenge we had was the request for security, to secure the funding, because we wanted a capital investment, and we didn't have the assets to be able to get a bank loan. So finally, when we got to know about Kua Ventures, we applied online. It was quite comprehensive. After that, we had a visit from an officer from Kua Ventures who came, and we took her through what we do. We had, of course, prepared a short presentation for our business plan. And she gave us a tick to proceed to the next level, and this was then the due diligence. So this is where now the exam begins. It's because the due diligence is quite intensive. You submit a lot of information, and our experience was that this due diligence really helped us to organize our business, organize our information. We had to prove compliance in all areas, KRA, NSSF, NHIF, things that even before we had not really thought about. But through this due diligence, we were able to let's say, organize our business. Yeah, so it is a pretty detailed process, and we had to go to think through, where are we going to be in 2, 3, 5 years. So it helped us to organize our business.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And how long did that take for you to until the point where you got the funding?
I think it was like about 2 months.
Okay.
Within 2 months, we had got the the confirmation that Kua Ventures would invest in our business. Yes.
Okay. And I understand that you got funding from Kua Ventures, that's the capital, and also you've been part of some of our portfolio workshops and hangouts that we organize. So talk to us, and maybe another entrepreneur who is listening to you and just feeling, how has that benefited your business now in terms of the capital that you got and the community that now you're part of, and also just the coaching part as well.
Good. So, like I mentioned, we are 4 years old. So we started in 2020, and we were using, pretty basic technology to make these printing plates. So in our plan, we planned that at this time we would like to scale up. And how do we scale up? We scale up by introducing digital technology, so that with this new technology, we're able to attract more customers. We're able to expand into segments that we were previously not selling to. So our application was for CapEx, for capital expenditure, to buy equipment, specifically to buy a digital imager that would help us to make these prints, not using the analog way, the old way of film, but to use a digital equipment. So we got the funding in September. The equipment was coming from Europe, So it came from that time because it had to come by sea. So in February this year, it was commissioned.
Ah,
So now we have installed it successfully, and the whole team is really quite excited as we go out now looking for that for those new customers. So the benefit that we have seen is in terms of capital.
capital. Okay.
Community, there's something that we say as engineers. I'm an engineer by training. If you are designing a car, you don't need to redesign the wheel. You just take the wheel that somebody else designed and put in your car. So as an entrepreneur, I found it useful that Kua Ventures brings us together. So I'm able to learn from other entrepreneurs, kind of peer-to-peer learning. So some of the questions that would interest me or the benefits I've got is how do I incorporate my Christian faith in
Okay.
in my business? So you'll get ideas that okay, for me as a business owner, I used to worry so much about the business, but I discovered that if I involve my staff, we pray together about this issue, the road is lighter and teamwork is enhanced. So I've seen a huge benefit of the community because I'm able to get peer-to-peer learning.
Okay.
Coaching, I'm the newest in the portfolio.
Okay.
We are the newest, so I'm looking forward to enjoy this benefit of coaching.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. And maybe in the coming years, what are you hoping to achieve with Kua Ventures? What are in the next 2 years or 3?
Yeah. What are our plans? Our plans are we are currently selling to the regional market, Uganda and Tanzania, a small percent, below 5%. So we are looking at growing of course, our sales in Kenya and growing to having at least a quarter of our sales to the regional market and growing our business to $1 million a year
Yeah.
in about 4 years or so. Currently, we are operating from 2 sites, and we have fully utilized the space that we have. So we are looking at owning our own premises. So we are looking at working together with Kua Ventures to help us have our own premises and from where we will be operating from.
Okay. Thank you. And what advice do you have for every entrepreneur in this forum today? What would you tell them about the process, about being part of Kua Ventures, and even the support that Kua Ventures offered you?
Yeah, I think the first tip I would give is to do with honesty. If you are going to apply to Kua Ventures, you know, there's a temptation, some temptations to entrepreneurs as you go to the bank to try and make your accounts look a little more attractive than the reality. And if you do that with the Kua Ventures, they'll see through that. So it is important to be honest with your application. Tell your story as it is. Where you are struggling with something, discuss. They are open to see. Because if you tinker with your data, with your figures, and then later on, then as you go through the due diligence, they find that these figures, there's something wrong with them. You see, you lose the opportunity. So I would say let's practice honesty in the application. Give your figures as they are. Tell your story as it is.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. And what I'm picking from Daniel is, if you want to be part of Kua Ventures and really want the support from Kua Ventures, is be honest, tell your story as it is, and if Kua Ventures is a great partner, you will indeed get partnership with us. Thank you so much, Daniel. And I think Richard, if you're ready, I have a few minutes. Richard, just confirm that you can hear me.
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me also?
Yes.
Great. And my apologies for the technology
Okay.
challenge. Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So Richard, do you want to put on your video? Or you okay like that?
I'll put on my video there.
Okay.
And hi, everyone. Once again,
Hi.
sorry.
It's good to
Yeah.
have you back. So I think I'll
Thank you.
just move on from where we had earlier started, and just picking it up from the conversation is we've listened to Daniel, who is just joining our portfolio, and now you
Yeah.
are one of our portfolio enterprises, and now you are at your exit. You're actually one of our first portfolio enterprises to exit. Let's say you've graduated. How beneficial can you say Kua Ventures support has been for your business until this time where you're now graduating and going to other milestones of your business?
Okay. Thank you. Very nice question. Sometimes, you myself whether I ever got there in my thinking.
Mhm.
But very nice question. Maybe what I was connecting the Kua team,
Richard, can I just advise
and
you can switch off
what
your
we had
video?
in mind at that time.
Kindly just switch off your video and then you can talk so that you reduce the bandwidth. Yeah.
You still cannot hear me clearly.
Now that I can hear, the other one is so you can go on.
All right. Okay. So I'm saying it has been a walk of faith and trust, as my colleague said, that there is. I say, I mean, we have grown as a business in the times that we have met with Kua. I would want to say here that the experience has been very different from a financial partner because we previously had engagements with other financial partners. And for Kua, from the word go, from the first time we met, it has been very different. And we've actually been able to access two facilities in the process. The time we got to know Kua, and let me say that it has been very smooth. But more than the achievement of paying back a facility alone, for me, I think the bigger dividend is the connection,
Okay.
the team, and the closeness of Kua and the manner in which they have handled us, because there were those times when it was sometimes easy, as you know very well in business, and other times very steep. Um, it has been more of a family than maybe what I would refer to as a bank. I've been speaking about this with some very close friends. I have a contractor. I think I shared with him the link to this webinar, and I hope he joined. And I was telling him about my work with Kua Venture and how it has been. And it's such an experience for us. And I think, considering what you said, Pamela, about me, us walking out, I had a long conversation recently with Benson. And at the very end tip, I was asking him, do you think I'm going anywhere really? You know, because I'm not going to leave Kua Venture, not because of the money. Yes, the money, it's been okay. Maybe we could have other projects, and we definitely want to work together with Kua Ventures, but even the team, the people we have come to know, the engagement, visits, Kua keeps coming to our place. We oftentimes find ourselves late in the evening in the offices. So I wouldn't want to say that the relationship has been the formal kind of relationship you have, but a very transformative relationship with Kua Ventures. And more than that, also on the side of business, we have also experienced a lot of growth. Let me say that, with a lot of modesty, that we have really experienced growth. For those of us from Pure Planet back then, and those who are coming to visit our facility today, it's very different. And
Okay.
there's so much. There's so much. Let me also say something. I know I've spent much of my time, but I also want to say something about mentorship. The mentorship. Um, and the people we have come to know as business people working in the global arena, and very much willing to work with us, has been uh, great, transformative for us. And lastly, the fact that we got to know Kua when we were like 70% informal, and today we have been able to structure everything. Today we have an office, we have a finance department, we have departments in our operation. So much that I can say about this. And I would encourage listeners, whenever you find time, you can pass by our place, and then maybe we can find more time to talk about this thing. Thank you, Pamela.
Okay, thank you so much, Richard, even for that amazing testimony and what Kua Ventures has been able to do together with your business. Maybe just one last question that I have for you is an advice to an entrepreneur who is now seeking to scale their business and acquiring funding from Kua Ventures. What would be that one advice that you just give them? Just one advice.
Well, if somebody wants to scale, it's important for them to have a roadmap discussed between him and Kua Venture, because they'll hold them to account. Secondly, is to stay focused. Things may not work out exactly as you think, but if you stay focused, then you will succeed. Lastly, it's integrity. I mean, it is, you have to be full. You have to also be a person who believes in yourself, and that if you're also honest, I'm sorry to say, honesty is also very, very critical to yourself, to your business, and to your business partners. That would be
Okay.
very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard, even for your time and for sharing that. So I'll move on quickly to the Q&A session. So kindly, if you have any questions, direct them to the chat, and my team will be able to notify me if we need to answer them here. Kindly just direct your questions to the chat, and I'll have them answered. So just to start off, I have a question from I think these are directed to you, Richard, since you've been here longer. What advice do you have for business that is introducing a new product into the market without any funding? What advice is that fit for Ventures? Can you just talk to us about that?
Well, if I wanted to introduce a new product in the market and I have no funding, I would say, and this is something that is actually happening as we speak, that it's very, very important for the entrepreneur himself to be very, very sure that they carry out a feasibility study that is very, very much resonating with what is on the ground, because it's very, very important that the new product that you want to introduce is received well in the market. The worst that I would imagine is when you have a product that is having a poor reception in the marketplace. So that would be very, very important. And then, of course, the issue of funding. It's important that you make sure that if you don't have external funding, then you have internal funding that will meet the project from the start to the end. This is because failing has its own effect on the other business that is going on at the moment. So it's very, very important that you do your feasibility study, consider the finances that you have. It's also very important also to appropriate a budget that goes beyond the actual required amount, if that
Okay.
is possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Richard. And just coming to you, Mada, if you're still here. Banis, could you bring Mada to the stage just a minute? There's a question or a concern about a business that might not need the 5 million loan, or might need more or less of that, what would be your consideration in regards to that, Madeline?
That's a great question, and I can see everyone asking questions and a lot of them being answered. So it's great to see everyone's interest. That's a great question. So if you're looking for more than the 5 million, we're definitely looking at investing. So invest between 5 and 15 million, and we may look at follow-on investments, as Richard mentioned, right? Pure Planet was able to attract 2 facilities from us, so we're definitely looking at not just investing once to support you in your growth. If you're looking for less than 5 million, we have done that in the past, but I would say that in general that's probably not such a good fit. And the reason why we say that, or one of the reasons, is our due diligence process is quite thorough, so it will take you a lot of effort to also go through the process and prepare the documentation and have the different meetings, and so it may not be worth your time for a lower amount in terms of investment. If you're looking for a loan that is close to the 5 million, I would still encourage you to apply. But if you're looking for a few $100,000, for example, we may not be the best fit for your business. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Madalena. And I have someone else. I have Lazarus. Banis, could you bring Lazarus to the stage? He has a question that he wants to ask. And also, if you have a question, please don't leave this forum before your questions are answered. Just air them out in the chat. Lazarus? Keep the questions coming in the chat, and my team will do a good job to ensure that you answered. If you feel you want to air them out, kindly just request to speak. In the meantime, we can do another poll. I can see Joyce. Joyce has a question. Tim, can we get what would you consider? We're a private institution. Okay, Madeleine, I think I'll bring you back on stage. There's just a question that I would love you to clarify. Banis, can we have Madalena back to the stage? Okay, so Madalena, there's someone who is asking about, do you discriminate against businesses that are dealing in services considered as public goods?
No, not necessarily. We definitely look for the specifics of what public goods you're looking for. Maybe you can add to the chat so I can respond more clearly. But in general, no. So you just education. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So no, we have definitely considered a few businesses in education. We have made investments in education. What we look for in education is something that is different than other offers in the market. So if you're running a school and it's a traditional school model similar to a number of others in the country, we may not be considering for funding. But if there's something innovative in the way you're running the school, or if you're running another type of education project, we would definitely consider.
Okay, thank you, Madalena. And guys, I hope I'm not locking anyone out. If you have a question, just direct them to the chat. If you need to speak, I have 1 minute for just one person. Anyone with any burning question that needs to be answered? I can see my team is doing a really good job to get your questions answered. Thank you so much. There's another question. I think this, Mada, you can also take it. What opportunities are available for entrepreneurs who are interested in mentorship and community for business in real estate?
We have, I don't think we have at the moment any investment in real estate, but we have definitely considered in the past companies. The way we provide mentorship and community is we bring together all the businesses in our portfolio, independently in the sector they're in. But we are quite intentional about sharing opportunities in specific sectors as we're involved in a number of networks. So let's say if we are to invest in your company in the real estate industry, then we would be sharing any opportunities for fairs, for different networks, but also other access to information that may be transversal across different sectors. So we don't necessarily work in real estate per se, but we share contacts across a number of sectors.
Okay, thank you. And there's one more from Joel about the kind of financing models that we provide.
Definitely. I think we haven't touched on that. So that's great that you're asking. I think someone else had already asked about the different instruments. So we invest across a number of investment vehicles. I would say loans and any form of debt are probably the more investments that we do. We also do revenue share agreements where instead of paying a fixed installment per month, you pay a percentage of your revenue, which allows to mitigate any sales fluctuation. So let's say if your business is doing better in a month, then you're going to pay more. If your business is doing worse, you're going to pay less because it's a percentage of your sale paying back until we recover the investment agreed. And we've also done convertible notes and other types of investments. So that's definitely something we address given your business and the type of capital that we have available.
Thank you, Mada. And just a final question is, okay, there's a clarification that Joyce needs about the investment in private education sector. Is that offered or not offered?
No, that is offered, and that is a possibility.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. And our team will ensure that you get your questions answered. And as we do that, I would love to bring Richard and Daniel back to the stage to just give us their closing remarks and share a piece of advice with us as we wind up. So we can start with you, Daniel.
Okay, yeah, my closing remark actually was to see that after a number of years looking for capital to scale up our business, and we were not successful with the traditional channels like the banks. The fact that Kua Ventures supported us, and one of the considerations was that we are faith driven. That was encouraging, and give us even more commitment to really live our faith through our business.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. To you, Richard.
What perhaps I could say is that Kua experience is very different from the conventional business, the marketplace. I've seen Kua coming like family and discussing the figures and also helping us walk along the tough process of meeting the commitments, which of course is usually an experience that most people don't like. People tend to think that when you get the facility, when you need that money is what is very important. But I tend to feel like it's paying back that is very important for our business. So I've seen Kua on both sides of the ridge, whereby at the time of application, there is a lot of engagement, and then at the point of also honoring the commitments, then Kua is again very, very much present. I like the values of Kua, and much as I don't want to sound biased, I wouldn't compare Kua to any other financial provider. I think it is a privilege for one to work with Kua. It is actually a privilege for one to work with Kua, and they listen and they are friends.
Okay.
We've had relations with other institutions, and it's very very difficult sometimes for the kind of businesses like what we have, startups and entrepreneurship, and so I think it's a great experience to work with Kua from where I see.
Thank you, Richard and Daniel. And as I bring Madalena to stage to give her final remarks, I would love us to go into a final poll. Bernice, could you just have the poll up? So that's our final poll. And even as we do the poll, I hope that whatever Richard and Daniel have shared has been able to give you more information about Kua Ventures and how it is of benefit to businesses here in Kenya. So thank you so much. And as I bring Madalena to stage, I would love her to, as she concludes, to also answer a few questions. Thank you all for voting. So Madalena, there's someone who is just a final question. There's someone who is asking about the financing. So if a business, that is Njoki Kivuti, if a business wasn't doing really well like a previous year, does that mean that it's disqualified because maybe last year didn't meet the threshold that is required?
And that's a good point. I think
as you answer that, I would love you to combine that with Benson's question about how about LPO financing, which cumulatively in a year surpassed the 5M mark. So kindly just answer the two questions and give us your closing remarks.
Okay, perfect. So let me just start with maybe with the LPO financing, as is a more particular question. So we've done LPO financing in the past, and it's just a matter of kind of understanding the provider of the LPO, but that's definitely something we can consider and discuss. To answer this question from Jockey on the kind of how if the business is not doing as well, do you get disqualified? I believe my colleague Ms. Harry has already answered, but I just wanted to touch on that point and echo what Daniel was saying. That a lot of times I think as entrepreneurs we feel compelled to kind of paint a better picture of the business to attract investors, but that usually doesn't work so well later on. And so I would just encourage entrepreneurs to be transparent in their process. We are investor in small and growing businesses. We know your businesses are not perfect, are in need of growing, but also improving in different aspects. And we are comfortable with businesses that are in that stage of growth. But if we can have that conversation from the beginning, it allows us to even direct the funding better, to have a more honest conversation about what type of capital may be beneficial to you. We've had a number of cases where we started a conversation where the entrepreneur asked for a specific amount and a specific type of capital, and throughout the conversation that actually evolved, because together we understood better what the business needed, what type of capital, what type of amount, how it could be structured. So allow us also to provide that insight from the beginning, and I would encourage you to see that as part of the coaching that starts in the process of due diligence. So definitely we understand businesses may not be doing as well this year. We know the economy is very challenging at the moment, and that you are all trying to do your best to run your businesses. So we're not looking for perfect businesses. We're looking for driven entrepreneurs that are trying their best and are thriving in growing their business or in doing their best to grow their business.
Okay, thank you. And your closing remarks? That was okay.
And maybe I can add one aspect that I would definitely encourage you to connect with other entrepreneurs. I think it was already mentioned today, but the learning that can happen from other entrepreneurs is sometimes even more beneficial than what you can learn conferences or talks or other type of more formal learning. Learning from other entrepreneurs is usually a great way to learn from those that have gone through similar challenges. And that's something we provide at Kua Ventures, but also that's something that you can also look as you engage with other entrepreneurs in forums like this or in your day-to-day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madalena, even for the information, for the encouragement, and even sharing that. I think it puts most of us here in business and entrepreneurs in the limelight and knowing what we're going into for. So I have a challenge for all of us here. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you've listened to Richard, you've listened to Daniel, and also you've heard from Kua Ventures ourselves. Madalena has been able to share that, and even our team on the chat is just answering your questions. So my challenge is for you to share this application, the call for application, with someone that you know they'll benefit. And if you're that someone, please go ahead and put in your application, because currently we are receiving applications, and don't miss out on this chance. Also, we'll be here to answer your questions even after this webinar for the next 10 minutes for us to just answer your questions in the chat. Please continue asking the questions, fill them in. My team is really working to ensure that you get your questions answered. And lastly, I would love us to watch a video of our portfolio workshop just to see a glimpse of what being a part of Kua Ventures community means and how that has turned out for some of our entrepreneurs that we have supported or we are supporting currently. So that will be coming up in the next few. And thank you so much, guys, for even taking the time to come and listen to us and share your insights, your questions. We're really, really thankful for taking your time to do that. So hopefully you will put in your application, and we'll look forward to receiving it and reviewing and being a partner with you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have learned something, and thank you for your time. That will be the end of our webinar, and we thank you guys for taking the time to listen to us. I hope you put in your application, and we are looking forward to receiving and reviewing it. All the best and have a good day.